everyone. What's going on? Welcome to the November 27th edition of Systems Lab Live. Excited to be here with you all today. What's going on, everyone? It's just a good day. Just excited to be here with you all. This is really the last week of November. Can you really believe it? And we are still well into our series. What does it take to be a next gen digital project manager? In which we're exploring topics that have to do with leadership, project strategy, execution, and everything in between. What I'd love to do is for you all to in the comments. I would love for you all to just talk a little bit about what you're working on. Talk to me about, what is it that you all are looking forward to in this holiday season. Love to hear in the chat what you all did for Thanksgiving. I had a splendid time with the family. So that's where I was with family. Had a great cousins night. We did top golf. If you see my latest post, Thanksgiving is a lifestyle, you'll see a very tragic picture of me attempting to golf. See, I don't think I have really held a golf club, but I've always been wanting to do golf. Like it's always been like a thing with me, wanting and desiring to play golf. And so, even though Top Golf is, I believe, a little bit more, it's more on the fun side of things, right? So, even with that said, I wasn't really, I was not, wasn't able to do all the things that I necessarily wanted to do when it comes to the hitting in the stroke and all that. So, but it just definitely, what do I want to say, reignited reignited from myself, my own self. It reignited the fact that I wanted to play golf. So I'd love to know too from you all. Yeah, let me know. Is that something that you all are interested in? Like, have you ever had an adventure or something that you wanted to take up, and essentially you had that opportunity, or you want that opportunity? Another thing that I'm looking into as well, which is taking up biking. Hello, somebody. I do want to be and have those cool outfits, like one of those cyclers, but I feel like that's probably not going to be my jam because it's probably going to be more on the exercise front. Um, that's probably just going to be me on the exercise front. So that's probably where I'm going to reside, is on that front, is more on the exercise front. So that's really it. Oh, let me go live up in here because I wasn't live on the Instagram, just on YouTube. All right, now we live. Now we live. Okay, so now we're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. So welcome everyone to the Systems Lab Live, the November 27th edition, where we are gathered here together each and every single week to talk about leading teams, managing projects, and developing processes. This is the number one live show for project managers, for operators, for those that are day in and day out. They are managing the projects, they are managing the work, they are driving the change. And we're in this series. This is I guess you would say part two of the series, but of this concept called the next gen digital project manager. There's a probing question of the hour that I always like to ask. What does it take to be a next gen digital project manager? And so we focus on some of the three core tenets, which is leadership, strategy, and execution. And so inside of that, we unpack all sorts of things inside how will we lead our character. They talk about leadership development. We talk about project strategy, how to plan projects, how to develop strategy, execution. If you are on my email list, which I have to tell you, you got to get on the email list because it is fire, for real, for real. This is actually my third kind of round with email, but I am loving it. Really, I credit a lot of it to just letting go of the expectations of what it means to build an email list, and really just having a plan and then really sticking to the plan. So I'm committed to writing. And so one of the things from Jordan Gill's conference that really stuck out to me was Kristen Rodan, who is an email marketing, I don't hate to use the word guru, but she is I would say that she's just a mastermind around email marketing, sending out emails and making social media optional. And one of the things that she had said, that one of the key things that she said that stuck out to me is that millionaires write emails. And, talking about the way in which you get comfortable with writing your emails, knowing your programs, your services, your offerings, and all that type of stuff. You write your emails. You write emails, and so I'm excited about doing this. So this is my fourth week. It's been really, really good, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep writing the emails. We may pick it up, in 2024 because I'm sitting down and I'm just writing. I know what I'm going to write about. I have a plan and I make it really, really simple. Before, when I was writing emails, it was just a lot going on. I was trying to do too much. I was trying to link things. I was trying to create a video. And actually, the mini video series was pretty cool. I was doing a 60-second, 90-second, maybe maximum, I don't know. It's probably maximum like a 5-minute snippet. I'll say that. A 5-minute snippet that would be inside of the email that I have to go and upload through the captions and upload it and then put it in the email, load it on YouTube, write something about the video. The whole thing took too long to do. I'll probably focus some YouTube efforts probably in later half of 2020, probably in 2025. I know it sounds a little bit long, but I'll probably focus on the YouTube thing for sure, for sure. Sometime in 2024, full on strategy later on, but we are writing this thing called email. So we talked about that. Let me know in the comments how your Thanksgiving was. Thanksgiving, I always say, is like a project. I love to talk about that because it's so true. The planning, the ingredients, putting in the turkey, all the things that happen with Thanksgiving is just like a project. And so what we're going to do today is we're actually going to go straight into the topic of today. Help, I'm switching PM tools. What should I do first? And then I'm going to leave the some of the things that we sort of normally do, which I usually have some sort of, what do you want to call, like a article or something of the day in which I read from it, and then we get into it. I believe what will happen is either starting this Wednesday or next Wednesday, I think what we'll start to do is do some sort of PM roundup, and maybe that will just be, maybe that'll be bi-weekly of sorts, and it'll be probably on YouTube and no, it'll be on LinkedIn and Instagram. We'll do a PM roundup of news, of articles, and we'll just hang out, have a good time, talk about industry news and the like. I think that's a really good direction I want to head, because I'm splitting everything up week after week. And if you are probably like myself and you're honest with yourself, sometimes you can't really even remember hour to hour, what exactly that it is. So we're going to go straight into talking about change management, and then we're going to weave in this aspect of switching project management tools. We have a great discussion about that. What I want you to do in terms of staying connected with me, I just mentioned my email list, which is already inside of the of the show note things, right? But then also too for text messages every week, text PM Huddle to 626-722-5444. We're going to be talking about absolutely different tips and strategies and things. I may ask you some questions and some things. So be a part of the text community. That is a lot of fun. Then in the comments, or not in the comments, the show notes, that is where you can sign up for the email list. Now, our question of the hour, what do we ask every single week, is what does it take to be a next gen digital PM? And this is a good question. And we have dived into various areas. We've talked about leadership development. We talked about emotional intelligence, specifically in the beginning of November. We talked then next about, I'm actually going to go to my thing. Oh, the moving target. I love that, which is talking about moving deadlines, which is a really, really good discussion that we had last week on moving targets. Like, can you actually effectively manage your project with moving your deadlines? Sometimes people have a really, really huge thing about that. Like, they have a really huge thing about moving deadlines. And I wrote an email about that too, about where I was in terms of where I was career wise, and how I was super, super just into just copy paste. This is kind of how it is. And I never thought about how you could do things differently and the reasons why you would want to move deadlines, and how it's not a bad thing. But as long as you have certain things that you like, certain things that you are able to do to ensure that you are making the right decision when you're moving the deadline. So in my email, I list out a whole bunch of reasons why. The live stream covers it too as well. And then tonight, yep, we're talking about managing change. Help. I'm switching PM tools. What should I do first? So, some inspiration behind this comes from two different perspectives. Okay. So, one is a popular question that I get, which is number one, Ashley, I am looking to get my team organized. I'm looking to get myself organized. I am losing track of the work that I am managing. How best do I go about managing visibility of projects and tasks and the like? What do I do? So that's a question, right? What do I do? And I think that, you know, it's a simple, but yet it is a complicated type of question, right? And I don't blame people for really trying to figure out the formula for getting organized and getting their team organized. Okay. And I think it's very important in this particular digital PM era that we're in, that we really do look at, all right, like, what tools are we using, and what do we need visibility on? How can we work better together? How can we eliminate our cluttered communication? Okay. Who caught that from the new bio? Okay. Uh yeah. Yeah. So I think this is what I think, people, is that when we're managing change, and this is the flip side of it, when you are managing change and you're wanting to really lead a team or an organization through change, you have to, before you press that button, you have to do some preparation. And so we're going to walk through that tonight. I'm going to grab the iPad. See, we are certainly in this new era where we are grabbing the iPad and we are getting to town. Now, let me see if this works in real time. So we're going to get to it. I'm going to bring up, I think this is it. Because we're using. Oops. Oh, I created like a cool digital note as well. Let me see if I can. I'll show you it. It's in my good notes. It's my jam. Let me see if this works. Okay. Well, I'm gonna take this off, and again, we're gonna go to town today. Streamyard is sharing a window. Okay. Okay, cool. So we're gonna talk about change management, folks. And then we're going to walk through a few points about how you want to navigate all of that when it comes to change. So here we go. Here's a scenario, perfect scenario, which is, hey, it's time for us to adopt a project management tool. It's time for us to streamline our PM tool. Okay. A couple things are typically going on in this particular season that we're in. It is Q4. It is the end of the, well, it's the end of the year, number one. Number two, it is also the beginning of a new fiscal year as well. Things are slowing down a bit, a tinge, right? Holidays, we're in holiday season. What's happening, Justin? Talking about managing change. And there's always this question of now that things are a little bit slower, now we start looking at all of the things that we've been talking about all year long, which is like, all right, we need to get better organized. We need to do this. We need to do that. That's like the thing, right? And so I know for project leaders, like we're always the ones that are on the front lines of managing the multiple projects, the work at hand. And so when it comes to making something work, we're the first people, right? We are the first people that are relied upon for that, right? And so there is always an emphasis of, I need a better way to display, information to my CEOs, my leadership. They don't need to see all the tasks. Like, how can I best do that? Or I need a way where, if information needs to be found, that it's not reliant upon me. Like, I'm not the central source of information. And so when we talk about this aspect of managing change, okay, managing change, let's bring up the definition of change management. The definition, so that we can make it make sense. So change management, oops. What's this? Okay. Change management is the application of a structured process and set of tools for leading the people side of change to achieve a desired outcome. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is really good. I'm glad that we are kind of talking about that, because oftentimes we are thinking about change from an aspect of, let's just switch a PM tool and then that's it. Well, there's the people side of change. I remember reading a change management book years back, blew my mind. But it really helped for me to understand when an organization says, okay, we're going to move from Outlook to Gmail and all things Google. How do you get people on board with that? Right? How do you get, because, I think on a high level, you're thinking, right, like, let's do it. Like, let's just go ahead and do it. So I think one thing that we have to do is set a vision. Okay. So I think one of the things that we have to think through is we need to think through setting a vision which then will lead to number 2, which is developing a strategy. So let's talk about from the perspective of I'm moving from Asana to ClickUp, or ClickUp to Asana, or Notion to ClickUp, or Notion to Coda, vice versa. And let's think through this, right? You're switching over to, we'll go with our friend ClickUp. And this is what you want to do. You want to kind of set the vision for making this particular change. So that's what we want to do. So we want to set the vision. Hold on. Okay. We want to set the vision. Okay. So that's the first thing that we want to do. We want to set the vision. Okay. So when we do that, what is it that we kind of want to, hold on one second. Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. It mirrored this for me perfectly. Okay, cool. So we're setting the vision. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to just essentially say this. We want to say, okay, we are setting the vision for changing our project management tool to move from X to Y. Okay. That's gonna help. Also, what you want to do too is you want to write a vision statement down for your leadership. You want to write it for your team members as well. Okay, that's going to be pretty instrumental. In terms of what you're looking to do. Okay, I think that's going to be, because essentially, when you're moving from one tool to another, it's a project. Huh? It's a project. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to write a vision statement. And I want to you want to set it, but then you do want to document it. And that's just going to be a big thing for me, which is going to be about the documentation. Write the vision statement. Okay. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to write the vision statement. Okay. So this is going to be really good because you'll get to see it. This is where you can, even put it inside of a document. Shout out to Google Docs. I'm a big on using what you have, writing down the vision. Again, this is a really good opportunity to put together a good one pager, because this is really where I'm setting you all up for success. This is the beginning stages of putting together a really clear document where you can set the vision for it, write the vision statement for switching and changing. Okay. And that's really going to be, instrumental to what you're doing. Okay. Next up, I think, if we have any questions, feel free to, drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat for sure. Now strategy. Strategy is another good one. And as I put the let's see, I'm gonna try to let me get one of the things up here. Let's see. As we kind of get the number 2. Okay, perfect. Put this right here. Okay. All righty. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to look at defining the strategy. Okay. So this is going to be good, folks, because I think this is where we'll have the opportunity to really start to look at, all right, now that we have the vision, the strategy is really going to drive how we're going to get this done. You're switching from Asana to ClickUp. When you also talk about your vision, you want to talk about the direction of where the company is going, where you're going, right? Future focus. The strategy, I'm going to write this down. The strategy is really going to focus on, all right, so how are we going to get this done? Okay. That's what we're looking at for project strategy. So how is it in particular we're going to get this done? Okay. So this is really looking at the plan. The plan. So what's this plan in terms of transitioning from your Asana to ClickUp? What's the strategy? This is a good opportunity to also write down goals. This is going to be, you may even want to strive for, you know, if you want to lean that way, maybe some KPIs. If you want to look at, ways in which you have measured, wasting time, or the amount of hours that you're in meetings, or how many meetings that you all have. So you may want to start to, at a high level, start writing out even some goals. And that's just something that will help you in terms of when you're thinking about your strategy, and you're thinking about, what are the best ways that we can go about achieving this change. And again, that's going to be long term. It's not going to be once you switch over, ooh, now we're efficient. But these are things that you want to be keeping in mind as the strategy comes into play. So this, what we mean by this is I talk a lot about, this is waterfall, is it agile, what's the strategy, what's the approach, okay, how will you go about doing this project work? Okay, we want to talk about also budget within this as well. That's super important as well. Identifying the budget that you all are willing to invest. This is a technology investment. We're talking about the number of users. We're looking at storage and features and things like that. When we also talk about strategy too, we also want to look at deadlines for implementation as well. That's going to be really crucial too, is when we think through, okay, now that we have gone about, setting the vision, we've written the vision statement, we're looking at how we're going to go about the planning of this project, the strategy, and we're developing that. We're also going to be ensuring that we have a really good key understanding too of what a high level roadmap would look like. I'll write that down because I don't want us to lose sight, right? I don't want us to lose sight of that. So as I get to number 3, I'll leave some time for you all in the comments if you guys have questions about what we are talking about so far. Oop, now, how are we going to do that? Okay, hold on. Ooh, that's cool. Love that. I do want to write down a roadmap because I think, my friends, okay. I want to talk about roadmap and schedule. So this is really important too, because in all of this too, because let's also set the tone too, so that we kind of understand that. Remember that change management is dealing on the people side of things. So all these points that we are walking through here tonight, um, don't do it in a silo, right? There's absolutely nothing that you need to be doing in a silo. at this point in this juncture, right? Why do I say that? Because you always miss something. Okay. Gone are the days, folks. And I used to be one of those PMs where you used to just, write up the project plan, meet, get a few insights, make the updates, and keep it pushing, you know? I used to be inside an MS project, just tooling away with it, sending out emails or things of what's due and all of this. So there wasn't a lot of collaboration, but this right here, the whole process revolves around collaborating. Can you sit by yourself and say, okay, let me put some thoughts on? Boom. Absolutely. And so creating a roadmap and schedule, I want to give you all some apps and things that I think would be really beneficial for you. And that would be, let me see, let me write this down. Oh. You could do something in Miro if you wanted to. This would be a really, really fun activity, actually, to pull in people, is to have a Miro board where you can actually have the scope of the project, the vision. You could even walk through, what are some of the key elements of the strategy. You could even put the roadmap there as well. And that would be a really great opportunity for you to, put together what it is that you want to accomplish within the next 90 days, within the next 6 months. I think one thing I found to be really helpful in developing a roadmap, and this is me doing this actually quite recently, a couple of weeks ago, was that the roadmap had, hold on one second. Let me see if I can get this right. Let me see if I can get this right. Let's see if I can get this right. Hold on one second. I wanna make sure I got this right. And this was, I want to read out what I did for this roadmap, which I thought was pretty dope, which was, where is okay, I was about to say. So what I did was, I did something where I had now, next, and later. Okay, that's exactly what I had. Now, next, and later. Okay, let me go back to my good notes and pull that up. Yeah, let me pull that up. We had now, next, and then later. Okay. Oh. I think this is all right, cool. All right, cool. So we had in this now, next, and then later. Oh, whoop. It done popped up. Let me write it again, but I think y'all got the gist of it. Is the roadmap doesn't even need to be maybe as defined as one would think it is, but We had it as now, next, and then later. Okay. So what was cool about this was now, next, later. And then for the now, I did like 2 months. I said for November and December 2023, these are the top three work streams that we're going to focus on. Then I said from January to March, this is what we'll focus on. And then later was like April to June. So it actually mapped out to like the next 6 months, but I just did now, next, and later. So why is this important? Is because we have to manage expectations of, hey, what exactly is going to happen when we're talking about implementing this change? So in that chat, I would love to know from you all. Talk to me about timelines and what you all are doing when it comes to managing the change. Because when we think about this aspect of, switching the project management tool, right? And you think about, okay, well, when is it going to get done, and how do you do it? You know, it's important to manage the expectations of people. Number one, your leadership, your people, your team members, and then what is realistic, dependent on the budget, dependent on time constraints, and really, frankly, you know, your workload. So I think there's key factors in all of this. I want to make sure I star this as like the roadmap as an example. Okay. As an example. Okay. Yeah. So that's an example. So because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be yourself leading it. Not that you're going to be the one that's going to be the only one that will be the one that will be a part of making sure that the change goes from ideation to execution. And in some instances, it could be, but having a roadmap is going to be crucial. So I want to make sure I got that note down for you all. Okay, let's see. Okay. A couple of other things that I want to make sure that we cover here is that communication is going to be instrumental for this whole effort. Communication is going to be instrumental. Why? Because really, the stats say that communication really does make or break, um, the level of your particular project. So communication is going to be valuable. Communication is going to be valuable. It's going to be necessary. And it's going to be the thing that really does set you apart as a leader and as you help to navigate the change for the people. Okay. So let's put a little something right here on communication. Oops. Here we go. You really want to just make sure that communication. Okay. We write this right here. Communication is key. I love it. Very good, everyone. Um, so it's communicating the status of where you are within this process of implementing the ClickUp in the project management tool. It is communicating when you would be launching a pilot. Oh, and I'm so glad that we brought this up. I am a huge fan of pilots. And so we're going to write this down here. I'm going to get something else different so that we can make it all make sense. We're going to put this here. I love it. What we're going to do here is we're going to talk about the pilot. Come on, pilot. Pilots are huge, huge, huge. Okay. So pilot a project within a PM tool. That is, when I tell you folks, that is one of my things. It's true. Pilot a project. Big proponent of that. What's going on? Digital Jane Squad. Piloting a project is crucial to what you're looking to do with managing change and switching the PM tool. I'm a big proponent of you launching a project within a PM tool and you only do like 1 to 2. Why? Because you want to test out the kinks, because you're going to be learning the tool itself, right? You're going to be learning the terminology, the quirks, all of it. And in that, you can set up one of the project that you are working. Okay. So I like it. It takes the pressure off of thinking that you have to transition all 50 of your projects at once. What's happening, Walik? Good to see you. Talking about switching PM tools and what you should be thinking about with managing change. It's a huge thing. Okay, so you pilot the project, which is, again, it's a gold standard. This is what you want to do, right? You have so many projects in Asana. You can't transition them at all one time. You might think to yourself, that's logical. But again, a key part of managing change is being able to communicate the change. And so by piloting a project that your team can work on is going to be good, because each of you can add a perspective to what you're seeing and hearing and doing as you go about um, transitioning from Asana to ClickUp. Okay? Does that make sense to the people? Does that make sense? I'd love to know. I do want to bring up another topic, which is resistance, and then we'll certainly we'll wrap it on up too. These stickers are fun. Resistance. So I think you will encounter, some, a whole thing for folks like, I don't want to do it. I'm used to this tool and now we're going to that tool. Like, why do we have to do it? There's going to be people who are going to resist the change. But do not give up on them. Here's what you need to do. You have to show them how it's going to be beneficial. And that's why we go back on the top and we talk through, setting the vision. That's why that is extremely important. This aspect of setting the vision, setting the tone, sharing, communicating it out. Why does this matter? Why are we doing this? This really, really helps to communicate that out. It absolutely helps to communicate that out. So that's what I would encourage you to do, is try to get the resistance people to be early adopters, include them in your process. How about that? Include the people who are maybe the naysayers. Okay. Sometimes it's the naysayers that are like, it's not going to work. But it will work, right? It may not be 100% in that, but you're confident that it will work because, you'll need time. You'll need time. All right, folks. Let me see if that is it. I think we've covered everything that we can. I think the other thing too would be, going back and reinforcing the point that, in order for this to work, you're going to need senior leaders to be on board. Like, they will need to be the ones to help to communicate out and endorse what you're looking to do. Going out there and saying, hey, I think this is going to work, and trying to blaze the trail, you're just going to burn yourself up. But being able to get the buy-in initially, getting all the reasons why and the evidence of why things are ineffective, helps to build your case, helps to get you the money, helps to get you the support, and helps with the communication to other people about why this change is necessary. I think, too, another key factor in the change management process when you're switching PM tools is seeing the dependencies of said tool to other tools, right? Or to people who are working with you. They may be contractors. They may have a way in which they worked with you through a different tool or platform, making sure that they know that they are communicated with, that they know and understand, hey, we are switching tools, we're switching platforms, and making sure that whatever it is that you're doing, they can still adopt and that they can still participate in the work that's happening, right? This is not to say that you make sure that you are always bending over backwards for other people, but it's good to get a heads up for the contractors, for the people that work with you often, that may not be officially a part of your team, but they're an extension, that they know what tools you're using, and if they need to be trained on it, they can be trained on it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's something to keep in mind as you're piloting, as you're getting the team members used to it as well. You may want to start pulling in a couple different folks from different departments or whatnot, just to see their comfort level with the tool, and to see, essentially how they play a part in the process. So lastly, I think another key piece of it, and I'm going to pull up another aspect to this whole thing, and I'm going to write this out, and then I'll share it all, which is workflows. Okay. This is like I'm telling y'all, this is like a huge deal. Workflows. So this is going to be a huge thing. Mm-hmm. Let me see if I got it. Okay, I think it's coming up now. The last thing I want to talk to you all about is, he just did it. Workflows. So this is really good too. What's going on? It says you with ugly brand in the building. So workflows are extremely important when we're talking about the change management process. Why? Because you will need to map out, really, again, what the particular project workflows that you had in Asana, how does it translate over into ClickUp? What does the process look like when we just talked about other tools and integrations? You want to talk about Slack, you want to talk about Google Docs, anything else that you're connected with. By switching the tool, and this is where the whole aspect of risk management comes in, have you weighed out, is it more riskier to switch a platform or not? And so this is where some more research, some more digging will need to take place. Uh, and this is where you can really just start to really strategically be able to think through, all right, well, what's my strategy that's going to help me to overcome a level of resistance, B, an obstacle, perhaps a particular workflow issue or challenge. And so this will allow you to think more critically about how you're going to go about managing change by going from one particular platform to another platform. So workflows, I love me some workflows. They are the bread and butter. They are really what is the driving force of the day-to-day work. What happens first, second, third? How do you go about managing change? And you got to talk about workflows. And so a key part of that is looking at your workflows, seeing what makes sense, what needs to be tweaked, what needs to be changed. And another key, again, you can still use Miro for that. Another runner up is Whimsical. That's always going to be a good one as well. So this is good to just be able to look at and say, all right, here's how we go about mapping out the workflow and figuring out what's going to work, and whatnot. So, yeah, you know, um, it's needed. It's absolutely is needed. Absolutely needed. All right. Well, folks, this has been great. I am enjoying this series. We got to figure out what we want to be talking about for December. But I think I have some ideas. We're going to go back through. I do want to talk about integrity for the leadership piece of it. I want to talk about some other really good things when we talk about project strategy. What does it mean to have a communication plan? All of that. And that's all that I have. Thank you all so very much. We're going to stop the screen share. And that is it. Uh, thank you all so much for tuning in to Systems Lab Live. This is Ashley Schuler. I'm excited to be with you all here tonight. I will see you next week and we'll talk soon. Bye. Oh, one more thing. If you are also looking for more in-depth coaching opportunities, I'm right here. And I am offering coaching opportunities December, even next year, and whatnot. Oh, great to see you, Joshua. Thank you so much. And offering some coaching opportunities where if you are working on a project, you just want to skill up, get some strategy, and whatnot, DM me and let me know. We can set up a session, and that's it. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.